Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerds New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka Jim Shooter Jr., with my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Pumpkin Bar.
There we go, sticking with the pumpkin thing. And we're back with another episode. We're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I'll tell you, I had some big news. Actually, like some really not news, but I was gonna make a big deal out of it. This news,
It's
I'm gonna make a big
news
deal
to
out of it.
you.
It's news to me. No one else cares, but I care. Because guess what I have in my hand right here?
Stimmy? I don't know.
No, not a stimmy. We need another stimmy for the gas bill, if nothing else, for gas. We get around. This is a Nielsen's letter, for the rating system.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how they send it to your household and you get to vote on what show, and the show they send it back to them, and that's the rating, and that's the show that gets renewed and the show that gets canceled, stuff like that. So
Okay.
I hold the network's fate in my hand.
Oh shit.
So you want to, yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't even show you this information. I'm pretty sure this is G14 classified, but I'm gonna just show everybody on the podcast anyway because I can. So any show that don't want to get canceled, I would happily, accept, cash payment. I may vote for your show, or
All right.
I don't know, something like that. It's just something simple.
So you why the last man's fate is in your
Exactly. Why the last man? I'm your last chance. I'm your only hope. So I wouldn't vote for that piece of shit show anyway. Anyway, let's go to the next part of the podcast. Oh, Eli, we got some good news. You know what? I'm gonna quiz you. I'm gonna quiz you. We're gonna do a personality test on Eli. Who is your favorite Avenger?
My favorite Avenger. Now,
who's your favorite Avenger?
Are we talking like comic books or MCU? Because I got it different.
Okay. You're right. We do, because this show is a little different from other shows that we do have to specify and clear that up. So MCU.
Yeah. Captain America.
And wrong answer. Your new favorite Avenger is Paul Rudd.
Oh, that's Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, of course, it's Ant-Man, because the reason Paul Rudd is like the most famous Avenger because he's apparently the sexiest Avenger.
I guess.
Yeah, because he won People's Magazine Sexiest Man Alive for 2020, whenever like that. Pretty cool. Now, here's the thing about that, Eli. Now, a lot of times, like I said, I don't swing that way, so I don't know whether it's a good choice or nothing like that. However, like whenever it's a choice like that, if it's a bad choice, you hear about it. Like, for instance, like when Blake Shelton won it, you're just like, huh? Like, look, even he's confused. Like, really? I won that shit? Oh, and my favorite from the 80s, Nick Nolte. Like, it seems weird. Yeah, he won this shit. So that's how you know everybody in the 80s was on cocaine. Because it was like, fuck it, But the thing is, like, everybody, now I will say this about Paul Rudd, is that he looks the exact same as he did like way back in Clueless. So you gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit for that. And not only,
I did not know he was in Clueless.
Have you seen Clueless? Because
I have not seen Clueless. I'm
sorry. Okay, I imagine it. So basically, that's your end, just like horror movies are my end. Like anytime you ask me that shit, I get. And it's kind of weird. I'm like, Eli, you don't watch Clueless? Like I should be shocked.
Yeah. Would you believe?
You're right. I am shocked. Okay, so let's go some more your speed then. Let's okay. Halloween. Which one is this one?
That's one of those where he was Tommy Doyle, wasn't he? Wasn't he Tommy Doyle?
Okay. Yes, he was Tommy Doyle. So he was
before Anthony Michael Hall in the new one.
Before Anthony Michael Hall. So apparently he's supposed to be the same age as Paul Rudd. I think that's why they didn't bring Paul Rudd back in Hollywood Halloween, whatever it was, because he doesn't look like he's in his 50s. This guy looked like he's in his 50s. Paul Rudd just shows to be like, no, go get your dad, not you. Yeah. So that's my whole thing like that. So yeah, but the thing about Paul Rudd is that, all right, I'm gonna just say this and just leave it alone, because eventually he's gonna get to the point, because he's not aging. All of a sudden, like, we're on to him, we're on to his secret. So all of a sudden we're gonna start seeing Paul Rudd Jr. With like a mustache or a beard or something like that, but it's really just him the whole time. Then his granddad, then his next dad after that, and they're gonna have like some dynasty of Rudds, the Rudd dynasty. That's all.
The Baldwins.
See, that's how I know you haven't seen Clueless.
What?
Because they call him a Baldwin in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they call him a Baldwin. So see, because Alicia Silverstone, whatever her name was in the movie, made up that any sexy guy is called a Baldwin. So when she saw Rudd, he's like, you know what? He's kind of a Baldwin. But now that's how dated that movie is because you can't use Baldwin in that term nowadays. Because
Yeah,
Baldwin
in fact,
means
I actually second guessed even saying his name.
it was in the back of my. You heard some shit. You were like, "Uh oh,
Like,
Alec Baldwin." Yeah,
what
he
door am
he
I going to open when I?
yeah, he's canceled now, so we can't even go that route. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. What do we got next? Okay. Oh, I'm up. Okay, Eli. I saw a movie.
Did you?
Actually, because you know that's not my thing. I don't do that, but I decided to go ahead and do it this one time. Decided to, pitch in, go
Oh,
one for the
this
team.
movie. I was going to watch this. Well,
It was
shit.
gonna watch this. Okay, you should have watched. Well, I'm not.
Should
I'm
I
not
watch
gonna.
it? Should I watch
Okay,
it?
to be continued. But I will say this: it is the highest, like rated, not rated, but like the highest watch movie in Netflix opening weekend ever.
Oh, no shit.
So yeah, so it's like it's a big deal. For those who don't know what Red Notice is the movie that where you got Gal Gadot, you got Ryan Reynolds, and you got The Rock playing. I guess I gotta describe the plot of this movie because the plot was all over the place. I mean, it was all over the place. I mean, like what you have here is a heist movie, Indiana Jones movie, a prison break movie, a buddy cop movie, and a romance movie all in one. And it's like I said, they just throw everything in it. You watch this movie, you get exactly what you expect. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's just Deadpool in this movie the whole time. It doesn't matter. Rock is playing the Rock. He's playing, Hobbs or Shaw, whichever one. I get him
The
confused.
Rock. He's playing The Rock.
He's playing the Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing their usual stick what you expect. The surprise here was Gal Gadot. Because I was thinking like, how is Gal Gadot gonna? Because the thing is, you can say whatever you want to about Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson's acting ability, but what they do have is charisma, star power, personality. So when other actors stand on the screen with them, they feel smaller than them. Like if you watch like Free Guy or any Rock movie with Kevin Hart in it, everybody seems like Kevin Hart next to the Rock, but Gal Gadot held her own because she wasn't doing the normal Wonder Woman, like I'm stoic, all about honor and duty, stuff like that. She wasn't doing that. She was actually like having fun. She was actually like, if they don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just ham it up just like these guys are. And she was able to keep up with them on screen, even though the most of the movie is just Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. And I will say this: Ryan Reynolds cracked me the fuck up in this movie. I was laughing my ass over the stuff he was saying. Now that's me because I'm used to his style of humor, from Deadpool and all the other movies he watched in his Twitter account. Now, if you're the type of person that turn your nose up and you have your pinky out anytime Ryan Reynolds on screen, like I don't subscribe to that type of humor. If you're like that with a movie, you're not gonna like this movie. However, I was laughing my ass off watching this movie. Just everything Ryan Reynolds was saying in this. Rock was doing his usual Rock shit. They don't even explain who he is. He's just The Rock. I don't remember his name in this movie. But yeah, all in all, the movie gives you exactly what you expect. Now, that's why critics are bashing this movie. I think it's like 28% on Rotten Tomatoes because the movie gives you exactly what you expect. However, you just want to see a movie with a bunch of stars just doing shit they normally do, ripped off movies, all they seen, like things like the Batman v Superman scene where Ben Affleck is standing behind Gal Gadot when she's about to steal some shit. Rock does that shit in this movie. Like almost every scene in this movie is shit from shit they did in other movies. So it's cool. It's a fun watch if you're just trying to kill time, play in the background and say, would I watch this in the movies? Hell no. I would not go to the theaters to watch the movie. On Netflix? Sure. Have fun. It's like one of those Bodyguard, my wife's Bodyguard, that shit that Ryan Reynolds always in with those movies that nobody sees. I guess it's one of those. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I imagine it's like one of those. Like if it was on TV, I'd watch it, but I'm not going to the movies to pay for that shit, So it's just like one of those movies. Now the thing is, Netflix is kind of changing the game because we always said that the movie star is dead and people don't go see movies just for stars. Well, Netflix is proving that's a lie because the only thing this movie really has going for it is its stars, the star power. Those people going to see, So that's all I got. So
they won't go to the movies, but they'll watch it at home.
They'll watch it at home. Yeah. And I had a good time watching it at home. I do not regret it. Will I watch it again? No. But the one time I did watch it, I enjoyed myself. I'm like, cool, awesome. So overall, give the rating 3.5 out of 5. If you're a bunch of people, like if you're playing a movie in a party, I feel like it's a good party movie. Like if you got, I'm at home, I'm throwing a party, I'm putting a movie in the background. This movie will serve its purpose. It'll keep you entertained. Ryan Reynolds yucking it up, whatever. So
Cool.
all right. So hold up. Who is this?
DP
Red
fan,
Notice.
what
Oh
up?
boy. Oh boy, Ryan Reynolds. I'm hyped. If you're a DP fan and you like Ryan Reynolds is just Deadpool in this movie. It's a PG-13 movie, but he's just Deadpool. So you'll like it if you come from Ryan Reynolds. All right. So looks like you are up, Eli. Like you saw a movie also.
I
as well.
did. I just watched this. Uh yeah. So this is a movie called Night Raiders. It is a Native American sci-fi movie. When have you ever fucking heard
What?
of that? Yeah.
So okay, so they so now the final frontier is space. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually
Okay.
no, it's still here. It's on Earth.
Okay. Oh,
It
okay.
is so it's like a futuristic dystopian sci-fi. It's in the future. It's like this it's like this post-Civil War. America's in ruin.
Okay,
Cities
so
are
it's
all
still in the past.
it's no, it takes place in like the future, like
Oh,
the near distant future.
oh,
A
so we had a second
post
Civil War.
like a second Civil War, a post
Okay,
second
so
Civil
basically
War.
so we're talking Trump 2024. Okay, cool. All right.
Basically, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 2050 or whatever. What that will lead to.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the near distant future. The America's all in ruins and shit. And people are struggling to survive. And the main character is this native woman who she has a kid. But so in this like this dystopian future, the government, this like fascist government, is going around kidnapping kids and forcing them into these like re-education centers, And this woman, after her kid gets injured in the woods, she ends up basically here to save the kid's life because she doesn't have medicine or a way to, treat her wounds. She ends up giving her daughter to the government. Well, then she ends up finding out that the government is actually training these kids into child soldiers for their ultra military, army that they got going on. This ultra futuristic fascist military, uh, you know. So she ends up banding with a bunch, like this native tribe. They're like they're like freedom fighters. So she ends up joining them, like a resistance, and to go get the kids back. So that's basically the gist of the story. But this was written and directed. What's her name? Denise Goulet. She's an indigenous filmmaker, written, directed, and produced. Cast is a bunch of indigenous actors in this. So it's like it's a straight up indigenous film, but it's also got it's sci-fi, which is we don't, like I'm saying, natives are starting to branch out into genres. You know what I mean? And we have
Right.
Blood
Yeah.
Quantum, which was horror and stuff,
Horror.
and
Yeah.
now we have like sci-fi. They're basically it's basically bringing up the issue of residential schools and what that did to Native people. The kidnapping of kids and forcing them into these boarding schools to assimilate them into white culture. That's basically the theme here. We're they're dealing it only in the future. So it brings up the native futurisms and how how to talk about these issues through genre filmmaking, through sci-fi, through horror. Same thing with Blood Quantum. Blood Quantum, you were able to talk about native issues through the horror genre, and I think that's what they're doing here. So I thought it was really cool. It does have a low budget. They're not going to give natives a big Disney money to make this big sweet epic movie. It is a low budget flick
Until Red Wolf, gets his
yeah
spinoff.
yeah. But it focuses more on the drama. It focuses more on the emotional relationships between the mom and the daughter, and And the ending was really cool. I don't want to spoil it because it was, it blew me away. The ending was what made it for me. But it's basically kind of like Children of Men with natives. I don't know if you've seen Children of Men. It's an awesome flick. It's basically the same vein. Dystopian future. Cities are in ruins. People are struggling to survive, and they're in this ultra fascist military government that's keeping everybody down. And she's this resistance fighter who joins this freedom fighter group to take back the kids. So it was pretty inspiring. I dug it a lot. And yeah, pretty cool. So give it a thumbs up. Like I say, it's like we're in a time where like it's a native renaissance as far as like indigenous filmmaking and TV shows and all that stuff going on. Blood Quantum, this movie, got Reservation Dogs. We had, Rutherford Falls, Molly of Denali, a lot of cool shit. Yeah. Echo. We're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about it. All right. So where did you watch the movie? Because I was going to ask you, but I'm asking you now. So.
It's on demand. I heard about this flick, because I got my ear to the ground all the time as far as, native films go. I heard about this movie last year, and I've been waiting for it, and they finally released it on demand this weekend. Of course, they're not going to, native films don't get a wide release like most movies. You really got to search out native films. And so I waited for this, and it finally released on VOD, and I checked it out.
Cool. So you'd already knew it was coming. You just waited for that. Okay, nice.
So, yeah. So Night Raiders, written, directed, produced by a native indigenous filmmaker, starring natives, sci-fi, science fiction, and natives. And it blends the two together. You blend it has plenty of native culture, language. You hear them speaking their language. You hear them talking about their old stories, but it blends into the sci-fi genre very well. And like I said, the ending right out of the Matrix, I was like, "Holy shit, that's dope!"
Okay, so don't spoil it because I feel like it is going to be, it may get picked up by somebody, because all you got to do is get picked by Netflix or go on Amazon Prime like that. Boom, there you are.
Yeah. And I guess it went to the Toronto Film Festival, and that's where it got picked up by Samuel Golden May or whatever that American film distribution. So it is getting a wide sort of release on VOD and stuff, but but I don't think it's getting it. I'll check it out. It might go to theaters. I don't know. I'll see if it goes to theaters, but it is on VOD if you want to check it out. I rented it on Vudu, so
cool. All right, so let's move on past it. Like I said, we're going to talk about the big thing that happened, I guess, this week.
It is in the theaters.
It is in the theaters.
Okay. It is in the theaters.
Turns out Red Notice in the theaters also. I didn't know that.
Oh,
like in the theaters right now, but nobody saw it. But yeah, in the theaters.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's going to see that shit in the theaters. I don't care who you got in it.
Yeah, it's playing at one theater in my town.
Cool.
But it's getting a theater release, so that's pretty cool.
So nice. Okay. All right. So like I said, we're gonna talk about the Disney recaps like that. We're not gonna do a hour and a half breakdown of the. Honestly, I didn't even see the shit. I just saw like the recap of whatever Marvel has on their website right now. Just kind of went from there. I will throw up this quick graphic real quick, and just to give you a clear view of it, I'm gonna do something I normally don't do and remove the banner. Let's see. All right, so Eli, I think you kind of already spoiled it, but I was going to ask you, which one are you looking forward to the most?
What is that Spider-Man? Is that an animation or is that a show?
Animation, because they're still not allowed to use live action Spider-Man with Disney.
Well then then it is Echo.
Okay, so if it was live action, it would have been Spider-Man.
Yeah, if it was a live action Spider-Man show, I'd be all over that.
Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting it. Okay,
wouldn't you be?
I would. I wouldn't say maybe my favorite. Let me look at this list. If it was live action Spider-Man, yes. If it was live action Spider-Man, it would be my favorite one. But since I already knew it wasn't. So
yeah.
What else am I looking forward to? We got What If season 2, that's cool. How you make a Groot show? How?
Is that animation or is that
Does it matter?
CGI?
Doesn't matter. It's Groot. But my thing is, what is he going to do? I mean, what is he going to say? All he says is, "I am Groot." So that's the whole show. That's just it. Just what we got? Iron. What I was about to say Iron Fist.
Ironheart.
Ironheart. Yeah. Anyway, put the graphic back up. Matter of fact, get us back in there. So what else we got?
Basically everything but what we really want.
I mean, all people want, what? No. Actually, what people want is the X-Men, and they gave you the X-Men.
Yes, I was gonna say Fantastic Four, but
nobody wants the Fantastic Four.
I do. I want.
Not really. Nobody really wants the Fantastic Four. We want Galactus. We want Doctor. Nobody wants Reed
we
Richards.
want Doom. We want
but
I want to see the Thing. I want to see the Thing.
Yeah, but before we get to the X-Men, like I said, now live action wise, I think the thing I'm not excited for, but got my attention the most is Moon Knight. Moon Knight looks good. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that one.
I did.
It looks Netflix-ish. Now that's high praise. That's about the closest Disney Plus.
Like Iron Fist Netflix.
No. Come on, man. A little bit higher than Iron.
Like Punisher Netflix.
Yeah, I'm just saying, okay, I'm not saying, oh, this looks like Daredevil. We don't need Daredevil. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it gave me a vibe of Daredevil. That's all from Netflix. That's all I'm saying. Not saying it's going to replace Daredevil, be the new Daredevil. I'm just saying it gave me the vibes. Like, okay, Disney Plus is trying to get out there. Titans. Okay, I'll give you Titans. I don't watch that shit, but let me see. Top of the morning. And to my roommates, I told you about Echo. We talked about Echo and Anthika last year. Or whenever that came out. But appreciate the tip, Gabe. We love your rumor sites. Because they're 60% of the time right, half of the time. So yeah, what are we talking about? Back to what we're talking about. Okay, so like I said, we got Moon Knight, Netflix-ish, and She-Hulk, like I said, Shulky.
I'll watch
now,
it.
people,
sure.
Yeah, people are freaking out over like, why do you always change the characters and making them blah blah? She-Hulk has been around for like 30 years now, 40 years now. Calm the fuck down. She's not a new thing. But this is the thing that got my attention. When she broke the fourth wall in there, when she looked at the camera and said, don't make me angry. You don't like me when I'm angry, which is an exact reference because, like I said, Eli, we're old heads now. To the old NBC show when Bill Bixby did it, don't make me angry or like me angry. And also, Eli, do you remember who he's talking to?
Who Bill Bixby's talking to?
Yeah, the guy in the.
No, I do not know who that is.
Okay, so that is Jack McGee. Jack McGee was the reporter that was always chasing him after the shows like that.
Oh, okay.
And they remixed her or revamped her or whatever like that, in the new Immortal Hulk comic.
Immortal Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, but that
Jacqueline
wasn't
McGee, I think her name is.
Jacqueline McGee. But Jackie McGee was in the Incredible Hulk movie.
With Bill Bixby?
No, not with Bill Bixby. Not the trial of the Incredible Hulk, not like that. The one with what's his name? Ed Norton? Ed Norton. Okay, but it was a brief cameo. So she was like a live streamer, and she was like, I'm Jacqueline McGee. I'm watching the Hulk destroy the college. Boom. It was like they never showed her. She just said the name. She was basically the footage they got from it for her. So what are we talking about? Oh, yeah. Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Okay. So most people don't know who Moon Knight is. Moon Knight is Crazy Batman or Batman. But most people don't know is that he came from a Werewolf by Night comic. That was his origin. So he was a Werewolf by Night villain. That's how he started. And then they just decided to spin him off and get like, he's too cool. We need more Batman. So they decided to give him a guy. So whatever. That's where Moon Knight came from. Did we run through everybody? I guess we just briefly talk about X-Men. Eli, here's the thing. I know I'm the target demographic for this because, like I said, when X-Men was doing their thing on the Fox show and stuff like that, I wasn't the most excited X-Men person for it. It was cool. I liked it, but I didn't go crazy for it. On chains of making mad at Miss Marvel. Well, here's the Gabe, I know you got it from rumor site. I'm not going to report them because they haven't shown her powers yet, but I know what you're talking about. The change of origins, don't fight me on it. Guess she's casuals won't care. Casuals won't care. And because they have to do this on purpose because her original powers are tied to the Inhumans, and Marvel is doing everything in their power to make sure nobody remembers the Inhumans.
So what is her power? She's just like Captain Marvel?
No, she's like Reed Richards, which is another reason why to change her powers. Oh, you mean like where her powers
Is she going to do like Embiggen and all that shit? Like,
no, she's
okay.
not. Or if she
Well, that is kinda
does,
whack,
it's
then.
well, I mean, because she was an Inhuman, that's like her power, so they got to make sure people don't remember the Inhumans, So I think she's like a Green Lantern or some shit now, kind of.
Which I saw in the trailer that she's wearing the Captain Marvel
Marvel
spacesuit.
stuff, yeah, because she's a Captain Marvel fangirl. That's that's on brand. That's where her thing is, But yeah, they haven't actually revealed her powers yet. But what the leaks that we saw, she's kind of like a Green Lantern, where if she does Embiggen, it's not like her arm stretches, like she'll do an energy fist or some shit, something like that. So
Okay,
that's how they're gonna do it.
So she's not. I guess that would look like Reed Richards, yeah, if she did Embiggen.
Yeah, which is another reason why I changed it, because the whole reason why they did that, because they were phasing out the Fantastic Four. So let's get a Fantastic Four-ish type character since nobody else using their powers. So, so that's why they're changing up. And don't worry, she'll be changing the comics also. It's coming. Don't worry about it. Because Kevin Feige, if he loves one thing, he loves synergy. So, what are we talking about? So we ran through X-Men. Oh yeah, I'm talking about X-Men. Okay, so like I said, they're bringing back the X-Men, but what they're doing is that they're bringing new episodes of the old series. So this is like season 6, whatever they're coming up like that. Now my thing is that I wasn't the biggest X-Men fan. I know everybody in my age group grew up on X-Men, stuff like that. But when the cartoon first came out, I was underwhelmed. I know that's blasphemous to say. I was underwhelmed. The reason I was underwhelmed, because I had already read them in the comics. I already knew who they were. And the stuff they were doing in the comics, they either like shifted around some stuff, changed the storyline, and they watered down Wolverine. Wolverine was a bitch in that cartoon series. I don't care. He always got his ass whooped. Honestly, but when I read the comics, I'm like, okay, he's a cigar smoking, ninja killing, unstoppable machine. None of that stuff was in the cartoon. And you couldn't do it. Like that Wolverine Sabretooth fight. That shit was lame as hell. And like everybody in my class was just going crazy. Oh, this is the most awesome shit ever. I'm like, not really. Kind of sucks. Like I seen Mutant Massacre in the comics when Sabretooth was just a beast. I seen that shit, not this stuff, but I was still excited. But his thing, Eli, that was like the first time I was popular for liking nerd shit, because all my friends were reading or were watching the cartoon and didn't know who any of these characters were. But they knew I read the comics, so they used to ask me, so who is this guy? What's going to happen next in the next episode? What happened here? And I break the show down for them. Okay, so
that's
this guy right here,
the Blob.
Right, that is the Blob. That is Cable. That is Apocalypse. This guy's this bruh's son. This guy is that guy's brother. That's his girlfriend. That's the wife. That guy will be in 2 episodes from now. And they're like, and they're like, your mouth just opens up like that. Tell me more. Tell me more. And everything I said happen on the show, which is another reason why I wasn't excited, because why would I get excited for a show where I know everything that's going to happen? So it's like, it's okay. It was cool because I got to tell everybody what's going to happen, but but at the same time, I'm getting pissed off because Bishop wasn't in Days of Future Past. That is not canon or continually correct. I'm getting pissed off at shit. Nobody else cares, but whatever. What do we got here? Right, we've always been okay with the show.
Yeah.
Not happy with. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a well-made show, especially because it holds up a lot.
I didn't see much of it either. I mean, at the time, I was in college when it dropped, so I was a little older, so I didn't get to see it. And it was on. When did it come on?
Saturday morning, 10 o'clock.
Yes, that's why I never watched it.
That's right. Most people don't even remember said it was a Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah. They don't exist anymore. But yeah,
that's why I mean, Batman was on every day, and I was watching Batman in college.
Well, Batman came on at 4:30
in the afternoon
because I know because I used after school come home, watch it, Batman animated series. Yeah. Boom, it was there.
I would watch it and then go get dinner at the cafeteria in the dorm. I lived in the dorms.
So it was 10 o'clock. It was X-Men. 10:30 Saved by the Bell. Boom. I used to love waking up.
Another reason why I didn't watch Saved by the Bell.
What? And they was on different channels, but I used to flip the channel and go. We only had 3 channels back then. 4 because X-Men was the 4th channel. But yeah. Yeah,
but I
but that's
wasn't in college. I wasn't waking up in the morning to watch on Saturday to watch X-Men.
I imagine so, but yeah, I woke up and watched X-Men to see what was
But
going to
my
happen.
my little brother, Fat T and Izzy,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
we're about the same. We're about the same age,
they
so
all
yeah,
loved that shit. He was all about the X-Men. Yeah, that's when he started getting into comics and the Jim Lee run and the toys. Like he was all into that shit.
Yeah, it was just a perfect storm of
Yeah.
X-Men. Like X-Men was everywhere right at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he had ton of figures, reading the comics. Yeah, so
cool. All right. So that being said, also some stuff happened on Disney Plus that they announced new movies. For instance, Jungle Cruise is on Disney Plus right now. You can watch for free. Well, you got to pay for Disney Plus.
I watched Shang Chi again.
And Shang Chi. Shang Chi is on there also. Now, did you watch it in widescreen or IMAX?
It said something about now in IMAX something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that's another thing they announced on Disney Plus that it's like about 13 movies that are on there that have been changed to IMAX, and they got both versions on there.
All right,
so
yeah, I just watched whatever.
Yeah.
I just hit play.
Okay, I'm gonna assume. Let's say you watch the IMAX version. Now, like I said, they got both versions on there, but what IMAX does, like how you got the widescreen. Okay,
Yeah.
so with the IMAX version, if you click that one, it doesn't stretch out the screen. It gives you more screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like,
the IMAX is not like wide. It's like more tall.
Right, that's more tall. So you get more screen overall. So stuff that was cut off where you get more screen on it. So that's the awesome thing about that. Yeah, I watched Shang-Chi also. Still love it. I mean, I know it's cool to shit on the MCU right now, with Black Widow and Eternal, oh, these movies just suck nowadays. Look, say what you want to Black Widow. I don't care. Fuck that movie. Eternal's gonna do whatever it's gonna do. Leave Shang-Chi out of it, man. Leave Shang-Chi out of it. I like that movie.
Shang-Chi's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. The rest of them,
I enjoyed watching it a second time. Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the movies, do what you will with them. But speaking of Shang-Chi, I like your segue, Eli. I see what you did there. Yeah, because we're segueing to Shang-Chi. We're gonna talk about segue because Shang-Chi this weekend there was a tweet that went viral. Because everybody knows from Shang-Chi that the most popular thing was the bus scene. So the bus scene, there was actually a bus driver, a San Francisco bus driver, that broke the scene down and kind of cinema singed it. So he said he went through and named all the stuff that was wrong with just that one scene. And we're gonna go through it, and I'm gonna break down what he did on there. Now, first thing he said, he was talking about the bus. He said, first thing, that bus is way too clean. No bus seems like they're clean. So that's one thing. And then, the guy came up there, gave Shang-Chi a hard time. The first thing Shang-Chi jumped up, punched him in the stomach. So this is another sin. The first thing that bus driver should have did is stop the bus. When people start fighting on the bus, you do not keep driving. But whatever.
I've been on buses, and that.
Right. But he said this would happen. A dude will pull out his photo and film the bus while it's going on. So he's supposed to stop the bus and kick him off the bus. Then when Razor Fist started chopping up the bus and he cut the fuel line, the brakes didn't work. Okay, so the bus is out of control, stuff like that. You still have the emergency brake. The emergency brake still work. They don't make buses where they just work on regular brakes. They don't make cars like that. So he should have still been able to stop the bus. Also, the bus driver, he has on earphones while he's driving the bus. It's like he's running a podcast. You are not running a podcast. You are driving a bus. And then he turns around and looks at the fighting. You're supposed to not turn around. You're supposed to look in the rearview mirror. But he actually turns around, takes his eyes off the road. Then when something happens and he runs into like a Porsche or something like that, he bumps his head on a thing and then knocks himself out.
He gets knocked out, yeah.
He wasn't wearing his seatbelt. He's the bus driver. Who trained this guy? So anyway,
it's COVID, man. They're hurting for fucking help.
Anyway, that's the thing. So when I read the tweet, I was like, yeah, all that makes sense. But for all that to happen, for Shang-Chi beat all these assassins on the bus while the bus driver is still going, he basically has to be the worst driver in the world. So basically what we know is that he lost his job after that. The guy got fired. So anyway,
Also noticed he's the route is different or something. He was talking about.
He also pointed, the route is different. He wasn't supposed to do this. That's not where you go because according to he broke it down. I was like, kind of does make sense. But I say that to say this. It's a movie. Now, I understand this guy. I understand this guy. He's going to break it down because he's having fun. But a lot of time people will watch those YouTube shows like Cinema Sin, stuff like that. And I know we're not supposed to plug other YouTube channels stuff like that. But they'll take it like it's the gospel. It's a comedy show. They're doing it just to make fun of it. You don't take it and actually use it as a real review. Well, since I watched that and they pointed out this nitpicky shit, that made the movie sucks. No, it's just nitpicky. Every movie has this shit. It's a movie. So that's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants better representation for bus drivers.
Right. now he's woke, you know. Oh man. Anyway, what do we got next? Bitch gay section. Did I delete the thing I had? I think I deleted the thing I had. Oh man. Oh well. Either way, what we got? Hold on. Kill him with realism. Yeah. Not you too, Gabe. Don't do it. Don't do it, Gabe.
Apply logic.
Right. Because yes, any superhero movie, especially, you put logic behind it. Yes, it's dumb. But like I said, it's a movie. Anyway. Let's talk about Grand Theft Auto for a second. I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto just for a second because they released.
Is that out again? Is that out yet?
It would. Grand Theft Auto will never die. But
what they've done, the remasters or whatever.
The remasters are out. Yeah, I think it's just digital. So they remastered not 1, 2, and 3. 3, San Andreas, and Vice City.
You know,
yeah, those games right there. So, but not only did they re-release the games, the old versions of the games have been taken off the site. So you can't buy the old version of the game. You can only buy the remastered version of the games. So, but what they're saying is that the new versions suck. They said they're crashing, they're glitching, graphics look ugly, you know, even uglier than the version that they had before, you know. So, but hey, you can play it on the Switch. So that's a good thing. And now my thing about this, everybody's complaining about Grand Theft Auto, and they say that the gameplay doesn't work how it's supposed to. It's not supposed to. That gameplay was from 2001. Newsflash: the gameplay sucked. It always sucked in those Grand Theft Auto games. You just liked it because it was new, because we were killing people. But the gameplay always sucked. So the other thing that I was going to talk about, I didn't make a thing of it, so I'm just going to skip to the next one. But that is okay. So, like I said, it's Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about the comic books, and we're going to jump into it. And Eli, you actually have more show. I mean, you actually have more books than I have. So I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Should I start with Venom?
Oh yeah, that was a new Venom book. I didn't read this book. I was going to, but I didn't. So
yeah.
So I'm waiting for you to sell me on it.
Well, I don't know if I am.
Off to a good start already.
So this is Venom #1 by Al Ewing. We're switching writers. Yes, so Al Ewing is now doing Venom. Donny Cates is doing the Hulk. So they're crisscrossing.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So Venom, this basically picks up after Donny Cates' run where Dylan, we found out that Eddie Brock had a son named Dylan who's got all the gnarly powers that he does, and so he gave the Venom symbiote to Dylan, and now Eddie Brock is the king of the symbiotes now. After defeating Null, all the symbiotes answer to Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock, okay.
So this first issue is just them kind of, you know, the father-son dynamic. He has to go up into space and police space, and then Dylan struggling on Earth, you know, adjusting to life, you know, a regular life because of all the shit he's been through. And it's all right. I think the strongest parts are the, you know, Dylan struggling, you know, but basically this switches up, maybe because Donny Cates, excuse me, Donny Cates had like a monster movie horror feel. And now this feels like almost like a Green Lantern. It's like Eddie Brock is like a Green Lantern with the symbiotes. They're going out in space. My thing is,
Al Ewing also had a monster feel with Hulk.
Yeah, but that was more cerebral. You know what I mean? It was more body horror. This feels like more like Green. It feels like the Flash Thompson Venom shit. The Space Knight shit.
Admiral Thompson, Major Venom. Agent Venom. That's what it was.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a Green Lantern shit, like Green Lanterns only with symbiotes. And then
so did the Guardians of the Galaxy show up or some shit?
Kind of like that, but on Earth, somebody's after Dylan on Earth, and that's where I was sort of responded to the Dylan shit. I didn't really give a shit about Eddie in space, fighting all the the Skrulls and all that shit, and I was like, this is just Green Lantern, Guardians of the Galaxy type shit.
It's weird because normally when a writer ends a book, they usually put the toys back in the toy box. Always maintain status quo. But Donny Cates just like blew up Venom, turned him into a god, kill Null, and kill the Celestial, and then here, you take the book. So now Al Ewing basically has to figure this shit out first, but he can make his own book. Meanwhile, with Hulk, he reset Hulk. So Donny Cates could just take Hulk and just do whatever the fuck he want to.
I remember hearing like Gomer and the guys on have they explained why Dylan's Venom has that chain? I thought, didn't he grab that chain in the fight? I thought that's what happened.
What fight? In this book or in another book?
In one of the last Venom books. And it was like an ode to Spawn. It was like, because Venom was created by McFarlane, and it was like an ode to Spawn, Venom having a chain, like Spawn had chains.
Sure, I'll go with it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. But basically, Dylan doesn't use Venom until the very end of the book. Because his dad told, I don't use Venom. Don't bond with Venom. Until the very end of the book, he finally puts on, these army guys are coming, and he puts on the symbiote and let's
Okay, hold on. So is this book about Eddie or is it about Dylan?
It's like split up. It's got Dylan's on Earth struggling, doing like Peter Parker, high school shit. And then Eddie's in space doing space cop shit.
Cool. Okay.
It was a long book. It was like 40 something pages.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's why I was like, I'll wait for Eli to tell me about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I might give it one more. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, it's just a different feel. You know what I mean?
Al Ewing. You got to give Al Ewing the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, on This Geeks and Comics, they were talking about it would be cool if they switched, like made Venom more cerebral and go into the mental state, how Al Ewing did with the Hulk, and then Donny Cates take the wham bam monster movie creature feature fight shit to the Hulk.
Or maybe Al Ewing is sick of doing the cerebral shit. Maybe he wants to cut loose. He want to do some blockbusters, like I did Hulk, and talked about basically had a therapy session for 50 issues. Now I just want to just blow up shit. Maybe that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just like I just felt a little too Green Lantern-ish, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I never liked that with Venom, but oh well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's Venom. I'm an old schooler Venom fan. I like him as a villain. I'm not into him being all heroed up and being a cop. All the Venoms, all the symbiotes being cops now.
In brightest day,
now that I'm thinking about it, now I'm seeing the woke shit now, because Venom or Eddie's in space and he's trying to like make peace with all the planets that Null destroyed.
Oh shit.
So like he's like, I gotta earn these people's trust back. That we're not the bad guys here. So I get what you're doing, Al.
Oh man.
Cops need to win back the people's trust and shit.
Symbiote lives matter. Yeah. Back the symbiotes. Yeah.
Yeah. Defund the symbiotes.
Oh,
so man. Yeah, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I was just a little, I mean, it's hard to top. It's hard to top what Donny Cates did.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm gonna ask. Okay, so like I said, Immortal Hulk, Venom, which is the better book? Al Ewing's run or Donny Cates' run? Which? Come on.
I'm gonna lean towards Immortal Hulk. Immortal Hulk was just classic, whereas Venom kind of like had the Venom Island and all that shit. I mean, it had its ups and downs.
Okay, I get it, but it had some ups.
Yeah, I mean, the Null War, all that Null shit was, that was pretty dope. But I mean, just consistently, Immortal Hulk was just like you know, I don't think there was very rarely. I don't know if there was a bad issue of Immortal Hulk. It might have been okay.
And plus, it was one continuous story. Where Venom felt like it like veered off and let me go tell the story real quick and come back, and let me go tell the story real quick and come back. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But you read more of it than I did. I'm just saying from what I did read. That's the notion that I got. So, but people are always saying,
yeah, like I'm saying, it's hard to top that Donny Cates Venom run. But then we're talking about Donny Cates taking over Al Ewing's Hulk run, and that's hard to top. But then the only thing you can really do with Hulk is bring him back to being a blockbuster, smash him up, monster shit. And I think Donny Cates, that's easy for Donny Cates.
That's not right. That's exactly what he's going to do. Especially as he got the artist from Invincible doing it. So, I mean, it would be wrong for Donny Cates not to do that shit. Just have that guy just go nuts, just Hulk, just smash.
Yeah,
shit,
don't try to replicate what Al Ewing did. Just bring Hulk back to what Hulk has always been, that blockbuster, summer blockbuster, smash him up.
Hulk alternates. Hulk alternate. He's either going to be like cerebral, talk about his feelings, big therapy session, or he's going to be a big disaster movie blockbuster. It's like every other run is that. And now it's his time to be smashy smash.
Yeah, just bring back the kaiju shit. Godzilla, smashing shit up shit,
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing. Like, people keep saying that Marvel can't make any good books and all Marvel's books suck. We just gave you two damn near classics. Honestly, Immortal Hulk definitely a classic. Yeah. And I'm gonna say that Venom book is a classic too. Maybe not quite Incredible Hulk. I mean, Immortal Hulk, because it had
what he did with Venom. He reinvented Venom for a new age. I think especially now with the movies coming out. I haven't seen the new one, but still, I think that, with Donny Cates with the Venom character and sort of reinventing the whole Marvel universe through Venom and making it work. It's pretty cool what he did.
Gabe, I want to see how that works, because this Thor killed Galactus and now has his head hanging on the Bifrost Bridge. So I want to see how Hulk even can do anything with that.
And this Hulk killed the devil.
God damn. That deal just blow up everything. They're gonna fight all the way outside this universe, end up in DC, still beating the shit out of each other, end up in Image, beating the shit, Dark Archie, beating the shit out of each other. Oh man. Okay. Oh, it's my turn. Okay, let's go. Yeah. What are we talking about? Okay, so I decided to read one of those free books that are out there right now, Eli. What is that? We Have Demons?
I didn't read it. I was about to, but I was like,
I was like, it's free. It's free. I'm gonna read this shit.
I downloaded it. I just didn't read it yet. I read so much shit this week, but I was gonna read this too.
Yeah, so like, it's got that going for us. So I'll go there. So let me see what we got here. Yeah. So just break down the story. What we got here. Gonna see share alike. Okay, so basically, like I said, if people haven't keeping up with We Have Demons, the book is basically a comiXology exclusive, and it's written by Donny Cates and drawn by Greg Capullo. Now we talk about who did I say?
You said Donny Cates.
Oh shit! I'm thinking about Donny Cates. I was like, damn, now I'm not as excited about it. Now I want to read some Donny Cates shit, But Scott Snyder's still awesome. You want to talk? We just talk about classic runs. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo on that Batman run. That's one. I put that on one of the top 5 greatest comic runs ever, all time. Don't care. Put up against Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. I don't care. Anyway, now this is their shit right now. This is their shit. They own it. So let's see what we got going on with it now. This whole thing is about a bunch of demon hunters. So the first book was about how this girl named Lamb becomes this demon slayer. And at the end of the book, she meets this demon named Gus. So now this issue is about Gus. And the book starts off with Gus basically freaking the fuck out, about to kill everybody, and basically saying that in 1 minute I'm about to kill Lamb. So what's going on? Let's find out. So we get Gus's
long giant fuck.
Yeah,
that's in the big 2.
You can't see that in big 2. So this is Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo with the leash off. They can do whatever they want to now. And we start off with an armadillo, and she's just like, "You got to be fucking kidding me," because her nickname is Armadillo or Dilla or something like that. And they're basically saying you got to fight that armadillo. She's like, "I'm not gonna fucking fight an armadillo. You got to. This is where they're basically training her. to become this god demon slayer or whatever like that. So and her weapon doesn't work because they're saying the reason her weapon doesn't work because she's not a believer. She has to believe in something. She's like what, like gravity, hygiene, what? And then the armadillo turns into a demon, and then she attacks and stuff like that. Like I said, Greg Capullo, he's just going
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah, so she ran out the way. The demon armadillo is about to kill her and stuff. She stabs the armadillo, but since her faith isn't strong enough, the weapon doesn't work. They say like, you got to believe in something. Concentrate. What do you believe in? She's like love, family, and all that bullshit. Nah, it ain't working. Like believe. Well, okay, taxing the rich, Beyonce, coffee. It still ain't working. So then, right before the demon armadillo kills her, then they decide to kill the armadillo, and it's dead. Her stepmom. Long story, not going to explain it. You know it, but maybe people listening don't know who it is. But yeah. So anyway, they go back because her training mission sucked. And we get to basically who is Gus the demon Gus. So apparently he's 100,000 years old. He was raised in a family. They knew about demons. He went off to go fight these demons, and the next thing he knows, he wakes up 100,000 years later by the demon slayers that we meet now. This happened, and they meet him 30 years ago, and he was rescued by Lamb's father, Cash. And they put him in a cage. They don't do anything with it. They like, should we kill him? Should we not kill him? Cash wants to keep him alive, and basically Cash uses his axe. He takes a piece of an axe and he builds a halo. As long as Gus wears that halo, he thinks like a human, like he used to.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah, so he doesn't think like demon thoughts and shit like that. So, and for the next 30 years, they just go demon slaying and shit. And then and he's seeing Cass, even though he's never met Lamb before. He knows Lamb because he basically watched his family grow up and stuff like that. So Lamb, they're on the plane with the other people, and they Gus introduced them to. It doesn't really matter who these people are. We'll probably find them out later on if I keep with this book. But anyway, while they're going to get, because they're going to get they think another Halo meteor landed, and if it did, they can go make more weapons. And it's in the same place where they buried Cash, because Cash died in the last issue. So that's where they're going. They're going on a plane to go get the Halo weapons, to go get a meteor. And then while it's going, they actually get intercepted by another plane. A plane is in front of them. And the pilot's like, oh shit. And it's a creepy looking family smiling at them. So you already know what that is. Yeah. There's a bunch of demons. Yeah. So they crash in the plane, they start fucking up shit, tearing up stuff. And, basically like, okay, all hands on deck. Demons are coming into the plane. We got to tear them up. So they start chopping up people. The stepmom goes to their pilots on the ground, chopped in half. So she's got to fly the plane, and the demon gets ready to come for her. Next thing we know, demon's got a sword in his chest while she's flying the plane. They're chopping up people. And her power is still not working because she's still not a believer. She's about to get thrown out the bus, and that demon really looks like one of those. Tom McFarlane is going to sue these guys. I see this shit now.
Looks like the Violator.
Yeah, like the Violator, just like the Violator. But anyway, Gus saves Lamb right before she's about to get thrown out the window, but one of the demons knocks off his halo. So now that his halo's gone, let's fucking go. He's all demony and shit, and he's about to kill everything he sees. And yeah, that's thing that they just like. And he's, he kills all the demons. The demons thought he was going to join them. Now he kills them. And he's about to kill everybody on the plane, like everybody. He's cursing them out. I hate you all. Fuck everybody. You're not my fucking family. And she sees the halo on the ground, and they're about to pull the sword. They're like, Gus, calm down. Otherwise, we're gonna have to take it to the next level. And meanwhile, the plane is crashed because they fucked the plane up so much. He like, I'll glort your XPs to explode, and she puts, right before they crash, she puts the halo back on his head, All right, so basically, she's just like, are you okay? Are you good? She's like, yeah, I apologize for everything I did. And she's like, yeah, I looked up what glort means. Like, how do you do that? Well, our hips are bigger, but never mind that, so they go on there. And basically what's going on is that stepmom believes that they have a mole in the group. They have a traitor, not Gus, one of the other guys. Somebody told them where they were going to be. So she gets some demon blood. She just like, demon blood will react to anybody that has demon blood in them. So I'm gonna test everybody to make sure that don't have demon blood on. So she puts it next to him. Good, good, good. And he starts shaking on him. They're like, uh-oh, the fat one. And then Lamb is like, it's not him. It's something behind him in the next room that it's reacting to. So they go in there and they see a coffin in there. So they open up the coffin and it's Lamb's dad. It's Cash. He's been buried. He's the demon. So he wakes up and Lamb and Gus sees, Cash up there and he's a full fucking demon customer and stuff like that. I've come to fucking kill you all, and Lamb's crying.
So is he like possessed or was he always a demon?
No, I think they turned him into a demon. I think he was good at first and then they turned him into a demon, but I think they decided to say he was dead instead of letting everybody know what happened to him.
Okay.
So to be continued. And I feel like it's getting rolling now. We're starting to get some traction with the story.
That seemed pretty cool because at first I was like, it seems like they're going into a superhero team up thing. And
I skipped over, but they explained why they wear tights also. Bullshit excuse saying it's to conduct more whatever. I can't remember the excuse, but they made an excuse
or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. But they got an excuse why they wear tights. But yeah.
All right. So give it a score.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Yeah, I like it. I'm starting to dig this book. Yeah, especially for free. Yeah,
if it's free, I'll read it. All right, I guess I'll do Aliens number 8.
Cool. Okay.
Now I almost gave up. I was almost about to give up on this. Marvel recently took over Aliens. From Dark Horse.
Yeah. Made alien queen of Disney princess.
Yeah,
she's gonna be in Disney Park sooner or later.
Yeah. I was like, how is Marvel gonna tackle the Aliens property? Are they gonna be gory? Are they gonna push the gore? And I was like a little skeptical because they've been kinda, and then until this panel.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Marvel, okay.
Like, okay, Disney.
Yeah. So after this issue, I think I'm back on track. So this is the new storyline, new story arc. Basically, it deals with this planet of religious colonists. They're kind of living off grid in the galaxy, and then a ship crash lands right in their planet, right in their like garden. Wow. Now I'm starting to see the more religious themes going on. A lot of religious commentary in this. So the ship crash lands in their village, in their garden, and of course it's got aliens on board. The leader of the colonists, her name is I think Jane. She's like the pastor or whatever. She's the only one who witnessed it, but people don't believe her. They don't believe that there's an alien that she saw an alien and shit. But so that's kind of where we're at in this story. She's like, she thinks she saw something. But of course it was at night. Maybe her eyes were playing tricks on her. Blah 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 blah. People don't believe her, and she's sort of losing the community's faith in her. They're starting to question her as a leader, as a pastor. And this is a very religious society. I think Ambrose. Yeah, so like a lot of it is her like advisor or whatever. He's like a deacon in the church. His name is Ambrose, and he's like telling her, well, maybe your eyes, kind of like filling her head with doubt, like that. But basically, you have to get control of the people again. Meanwhile, at night, aliens are attacking people. They're finding bodies, and they're wondering what's happening. Then the aliens attack. A group of people get attacked by aliens. What's her face? Jane goes back to her place, her house, and she finds Ambrose, and he's in there. And then her bedroom has a bunch of alien eggs, and she's like, "What the hell is going on?" And he says, "You need to calm down." Blah blah blah. And she ends up hitting him, and it turns out Ambrose. Where the fuck is it? Let me get that panel up. Ambrose If you can see that.
Yep. Let me blow you up. Let me blow you up. Let me see. Oh, is that the dude? Wait, no. Who is that?
He's got scratches. They're not bleed. He's bleeding white blood, which means
He's an android.
He's a
Yeah.
synthetic.
Okay.
So probably Weyland-Yutani planted this ship to crash land on this planet to impregnate this village. I think that's where they're going.
Nice. Okay.
So I thought this was pretty cool. I thought that was fun. It does bring up was it Alien 3? The movie Alien 3 kind of had the similar, religious themes of, you had that prison planet and they were all like Jesus freaks. And then of course, Ripley being the savior who sacrifices herself to save humanity, by dying at the end. That whole, Christ savior theme going through there. This is kind of similar. You have this religious group and they're having a hard time believing in facts. They believe in all this religious, mythology, but they're not believing that, there's this threat, this underlying threat happening, So I thought that was kind of
climate change and all that. Yeah.
Kind of, little comment on today's society. But I enjoyed it. I mean, of course, they're starting to push the gore, which I'm enjoying. LaRocca's art is dope. And I'm liking this different feel, this different sort of take,
Because hasn't it been a while since they released the last book?
I think so. It's been, I can't remember the last, because I've been on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading all the issues.
Because I haven't heard you talk about it in a while. That's the thing. So
and it's been, and the only thing that's saving it for me is the art. The story's okay, but I love the art, But this storyline, I got into. I'm, especially this issue. So the plot thickens, so to speak. So, this is a 4 out of 5.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, next book I'm going to do is Static number 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Static number 4. So, like I said, another milestone book. Another book I got for free. So I'm like, as long as y'all keep giving me free stuff, I'm gonna review it. So, with this book going on, like I said, the last where it's left off, like basically the government is rounding up bang babies, people that got affected by the Big Bang. So they're going after Static because they actually know, well, his arch enemy, Hot Streak, Hot Lips, Hot Wings, whatever the dude's name is, he let the government know that Virgil might have something to do with the stuff also. So they're at his house right now. So let's go to where we are. Like I said, the government is at his house and it's like, can we come in? We want to talk to your son. Like, my son ain't here. And they were like, where's your badge? And they flashed like a bullshit badge, like ATF. Like, unless you got a warrant, you ain't coming in here, And while they're going on, all the kids in the neighborhood start pulling out cell phones and stuff. Because like I said, that is the time period we're in right now, the climate we in. You see government officials, police and stuff like that, rats people, they're gonna pull out cell phones and watch what's going on. But what they're trying to tell them is that no, we're not here to arrest your son. I have questions for him. We're trying to give him help. We're trying to give him treatment for what's going through him. And Virgil's like, nah, this is bullshit. I hope they don't go for that, So basically they say like, nah, y'all can get off my porch. If you ain't got a warrant, you can just leave, and Hot Streak is with them. I think it's his name. I can't remember his name. And he just wanted to burn down the house, but he was like, nah, we'll leave. It's cool. So while they're going on, they have, and basically just like, look, if anything happened to everybody with cell phones, but like anything happened to Virgil, this is going to the news. This is going to the press. Y'all ain't getting them, So the family sits down and have a conversation with Virgil about what's going on. They were like, look, we know those people came around here, but it's some weird stuff going on. Like at my school, everybody that's been that was at that place at the Big Bang rally is kidnapped, and eventually going to come for me next. I might go down and something may happen to me. And she's like, why don't you go stay with your aunt? She was like, no, I want to stay with my aunt. Stuff has happened to me. I know you want me to be safe, but weird stuff is happening with my body right now. And I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should go with them. Maybe they can help me train and figure out my powers. You're like, nah, that's a dumbass situation. You ain't going with them, So basically they said, we'll have a conversation about this later on. Go up to your room and we'll talk. So they go to the room. Well, Virgil goes to his room, but while he goes to his room, he gets that bag, that piece of hardware that he got, from hardware. You know, he goes into it. There's like this little metal like bag, bottle of metal sand in it, and he accidentally dropped it. But the thing is, he can control the metal sand. He's like, huh? He can turn it into armor. He can make it bulletproof. He can make it fly. He can make it levitate. He can do whatever he wants with that sand. He can make it disperse. If he don't concentrate, it just disperses, turns back into metal sand. He's like, huh? I can make it do stuff. So then I can make it body armor. I can make myself bulletproof around me. I can fly. I can put the stuff underneath there. So he's like, okay. So then he manually puts it all back in the bottle that he dropped. So he suits up. He's like, I'm gonna go, rescue these bang babies, find out where they kidnapping them and taking them to. So his buddy has been keeping tabs on the whole time. He knows where they are. So he goes out there. But before he goes, his sister is there, and his sister's basically telling him, like, look, I won't tell mom what you're doing, but when I was in that hospital last night, while on the ambulance taking a sick kid back, some crazy guys pulled up in the van, took him, and we don't know what happened to him. So whatever happens to you, if you get hurt, don't call the police, don't call 911, call me, because you call them, somebody's gonna take you, and you ain't coming back. So they go. And he's wearing a Malcolm X hat. They don't do that in 2021.
I was just about to say, is that?
Yeah,
I mean, people get that these days.
I don't know. I don't know if people get that. That's the thing,
because back then
everybody was wearing Malcolm X hats.
Yeah,
right?
They really monetized Malcolm
X. But nobody's doing that now. So like a kid in 2021, 16-year-old, they wouldn't do that. But like I said, this is Milestone doing throwback stuff. But they could have switched. They could have gave him, I don't know. What could you give him? I don't know. Something. But anyway, she's telling him, since you
civil rights leaders, a BLM or something. I don't know. Or is that too on the nose?
He got his powers at the Black Lives Matter rally. So it might as well be.
But I'm saying, would a BLM be the equivalent of an X? Back then.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but I wouldn't see anybody actually wearing a Black Lives Matter hat. That's the thing. Like, they would say it, but I don't see anybody wearing Black Lives Matter. That's a whole different situation that I may or may not address. Can I address it? Can I talk about it? Okay. Sure. Here's the thing. I'll talk about it. Let's just briefly talk about it. I'm going to talk about how Black Lives Matter reflect Black people. So, like I said, I believe in the movement. I don't believe in the monetization of the merchandising of it. And I feel like a lot of other Black people feel like that also. Because when you spend money on Black Lives Matter, who is that money going to? Now, I've done some digging. I know who that money is going to. That's why I'm just like, I don't wear any Black Lives Matter merchandise or paraphernalia or anything like, or swag, or whatever you want to call it. I don't do that because I feel like I'm putting money in the wrong people's pocket that don't see that money. So I feel like Virgil wouldn't do that. That's my thing.
That's kind of how I felt about the, Malcolm X being on shirts and hats, and back in the 90s when
now that you mention it, I can see it. It's at the time you don't think about it. You're just like, people are profiting off this. Hollywood is profiting off this. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. So, but here we are again.
They did make the movie, but when you think about the making of the movie and how they pulled the budget, and Spike Lee had to get a bunch of
out of his own pocket. He had to put out his own pocket.
To finish the movie, out of their own pocket and stuff, and then to go and make all this merchandise.
Right.
It's like, that's just what I thought of. When I saw him wearing that hat, I was like, oh yeah, I remember when all those Malcolm X hats, back then. And
Eli, we're having the same. Well, we didn't have the same conversation, but the same conversation is being had 30 years later. I mean, the context is different, but the conversations are still being had. About merchandising. Like, the movement is one thing, and then merchandise will come in and pretty much, derail the movement. We're having the same conversation.
And back to every child matters. I mean, we talk about the residential schools and the findings that they had this past year with, all the mass graves at all these old schools, and, Native people started wearing these orange shirts saying every child matters. And now you got like Walmart and all these corporations selling orange shirts,
right?
Profiting off of, the movement,
right.
So that's just interesting, you know. I just like it. Yeah, just seeing him wearing the Malcolm X hat, I'm like, holy shit!
It did when I read it, it stood out like Malcolm X hat, really?
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's what I was like. Damn, Malcolm X today.
Right.
Does that still mean Malcolm X, or is that like X Play or something?
Right, or X-Men or Xbox, something like that,
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the comic book.
Yeah.
I think we anyway, so like I said, she gave him some food because you're like, I saw how much you ate yesterday, so all your powers are draining your energy, so you keep your food up. So I gave you some candy bars in there to keep your energy up. So anyway, they go to an abandoned steel factory, but it's really not abandoned. They go in there. He meets his boy Darius. Darius is the one that's giving him all the information, stuff like that. So he just like look static clean. I twitch stream when I need to, and he actually called the reinforcements. I can't remember what these guys' name. Red Streak and Yellow, Red Eagle and Yellow Gear are their names, whatever like that. The other Bang Babies that go to his school, they met and see the Easter egg.
McDuffie,
McDuffie 93. Yeah, he's wearing a jersey, but yeah. So anyway, they go in there, they basically go in there and try to break out these Bang Babies. Static breaks all the cameras, makes sure there's nothing in there, and then he does a big thing. He takes out the light post, so it kills all electricity in there. Now it's gone dark, so now they can go in there and move without people knowing what they are. That's when the security guards go there. They're like, they're gonna shoot them, and that's when he like controls their guns and their armor and throws them in the trash can. Time to take out the trash. Flawless victory. I like this artist, man. I like this artist. Not gonna lie. And that's when Hot Lips show up, or Hot Boy, whatever. He's here. And Stag is just like, look, I'll handle this guy. Y'all go and rescue the Bang Babies, and I hold them off. And he's just calling by his real name. And he like, yeah, y'all better run. I'll handle ACDC. That's what he's saying. So he like, look here, Francis, you burned my house down, but you ain't gonna do this next time. So they fight again. He Static is just playing with him, dodging him, smack him in the face. He like, look, you can't catch me. And basically Static think the fight's over with. But like Hot Boy powers up and then grabs Static by the, and I think Static runs out of power. I think he juiced up so much he ran out of power. And that's when Francis on his ass, grabs his grabs him by the mouth, and then blasts him right in the face. The end. So next issue is called Face Off, I guess. So yeah. So yeah, that's going on. Like I said, this book is starting to pick up. Here's the thing about this Static run that's been going on. I felt like it's always like a value mart Miles Morales book, but I feel like this issue right here is starting to separate itself and not be just another Spider-Man ripoff. It's making Static. If Milestone keep making a book like this, they'll separate themselves. So I think Milestone is starting to hit their stride now with pretty much all their books nowadays. Let's see what you got from me, Gabe.
As a type 1 diabetic, I really felt the whole running out of every and needing glucose angle.
Okay, so you read this too, Gabe. Okay. Yeah.
On the show Gear.
Gear was a nod to him on. Was it not to him on the show Gear? On Static Shock? I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch that show at all. I should have, but I didn't, because I felt like just like X-Men was watered down, Static Shock was even more watered down from regular Static. So I was like, I feel like you with X-Men. By that time, I feel like Static is a little bit under me by that time. So I just stopped watching it. So, but the original Static comic was awesome. But like I said, it's in the stride. Icon, Hardware. Hold up, let me see. Gear was his name. The books were getting better now that he's shitting his ass. Yeah, it's starting to become a superhero book now. He's doing superhero shit now. Eli, just let you know I'm booked out. That was the last one I had. So,
okay.
Yeah, so whatever you got.
I'll do Hellions number 17.
Cool. I heard some big shit happen in this book.
Oh yeah. This was dope.
Yeah, I heard it goes down.
To be dope. Okay. The only X book I'm really into, or that and New Mutants. So
yeah, I was gonna say, I know it was another one you're into.
Yeah. So I'll share that. Just because it's Psylocke, just because.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So this picks up last issue. So what's been going on is Nanny, the little Humpty Dumpty robot mutant thing, she stole back when they fought the right, that religious group, racist religious groups against mutants.
Friends of Humanity.
Yeah, they had these racist robots that they that they developed, but then they thought they reprogrammed them, and then there was a little baby, a little robot baby that Nanny sort of kept for herself. And then, like last issue, she sort of like rejected Orphan Maker, who's been sort of looking up to her, been like kind of like looking up as his mom. And so, no, you're a man now. Get away. And then she wanted to, because she wanted to care for this little robot baby. So of course, and then the right blew up her ship, and so after that, after Orphan Maker thought Nanny was dead, and then now she also rejected him, he went on a rampage, and he's just fucking up the place. And then meanwhile, the crew broke up, after that whole shit with, anyways, the crew broke up. I'm not going to go into the whole storyline. But Psylocke finds out that, hey, Orphan Maker's fucking shit up, and they're like, well, let's go get him. So the crew gets back together. Let's go get our old homie. So let's go, help him out. And so Orphan Maker's on a rampage, and that the right shows up with their, mutant killing soldiers. But then the Hellions show up, and there's a battle. And then Orphan Maker is still alive, but she's got the little mutant baby, or the little robot baby, that she's been caring for. But then the right, I guess, reprogrammed the baby.
Oh shit!
Reprogrammed the baby to hate mutants again. So she's here she is. She's like holding the baby, holding the robot baby.
Hold on, let me get you in there. Okay.
Yeah. And then the robot baby's a mutant scum, and then like blows.
Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. Oh, wait, who's writing this again?
Zeb Wells.
Okay, I like that
guy. And then of course that doctor, that leader's like, ah ha ha, he's all laughing, and then Orphan Maker just comes up from behind him. Like, if you could see that.
Hold on, let me blow you up. Let me see. Oh, wow.
Just
okay.
Comes up and just snaps his neck, rips his head around and shit. And then goes on a kill crazy rampage. Shoots everybody, shoots these like cops that were sort of just watching over, like, this isn't our job. This is a government jurisdiction. We're just sort of here watching, make sure everything's fine, and but Orphan Maker kills them. So basically Orphan Maker killed innocent humans, which is not going to go well.
Which is the
Krakoa.
rule, right? The rule you just don't do.
Yeah. So Krakoa is now in trouble, and to be continued. So
they know that a mutant killed somebody there. So it's not like they can't cover it up. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was dope. This continues to be dope. So fuck it, I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I heard some big shit went down. I didn't know what it was. They were like, "Oh, you got to read Hellions." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. And then the only other book I got is out. Number 2. That's that. Whoops, wrong window. This is that World War II. World War II horror book. World War II and vampires.
Okay. I was thinking the plot was going to be completely different, but
AWA, that other imprint with all the cool ass artists and writers doing their own thing. So basically this is out. It's World War II. The Nazis have taken over this old vampire castle and are preparing for the Allied invasion. And they're trying to use this vampire to aid them in fighting the war. And they have also these prisoners of war there. And one of them is this Comanche code talker who specializes in all kinds of languages. And it turns out he can understand this vampire, what this vampire is saying. So they're kind of using him to aid. And also there's a subplot. There's the prisoners of war are also trying to escape. They're digging their way out, trying to escape the Stalag, kind of like Hogan's Heroes kind of thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah, I mean, this is cool. I'm digging on it. Gory horror shit with a native character, of course, and World War II, Nazis, and the occult, which is pretty cool subgenre. So 4 out of 5. I'm digging it. So yeah, check it out. Number 2, it's called Out.
Cool.
So,
All right, cool. Oh, Eli, I did have one more comic to review.
okay.
Okay, this is a weird one. I feel like I should say this last one, but okay. So remember I told you about R. Kelly, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for those that don't know, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this up. Let's see. All right, so for those that don't know, R. Kelly is in prison, but his cellmate drew a comic about them, and
them.
somehow it got released online. I don't know exactly what happened for it. So, like, since we're a comic book podcast, we might have reviewed the R. Kelly comic, I guess. So, but the thing is, the print on it is so bad that I can't really read it too much. But I'm trying to see if I can blow it up a little bit. But anyway, it's called. I'm gonna see if I can blow it up. It's called Prison. It's called King Size Annual Prison Comics. That's what the guy calls the comic. R. Kelly's cellmate. And basically, this is about them exercising and getting ready to, I guess, escape prison. I can't really tell. It's really hard. It just if it's
not
easy.
So bad. You could lift weights, read books, lift weights, watch TV, lift weights.
So that's the. So I really can't read what he was trying to say, but basically, he's exercising R. Kelly the whole time in it, and somehow at the end of the book, him and R. Kelly like super swole or some shit, and the guards won't even mess with him. I guess I don't know. I can't really read the fine print on it, but if anybody else can, let me know if I can find a better version of this prison comic. I will find it. So yeah, hey, if he can put out a comic, Marvel and DC, get on schedule.
I got to get off my ass.
Right. This guy's writing comics from prison. So yeah, that's all I got. That's all I wanted to say. So yeah, if you
slap a score on it.
0.5, man. I can't even read this shit. I don't. I mean, I wish I could have read it. I wish I could have read it, but the fine print is so small that I couldn't really give a. But hopefully, I can find a better one, and I may re-review it when it comes out, or maybe
comiXology. Get
or maybe we'll have an issue 2 by then. Prison comics, annual or something. Giant size prison comics, But yeah, okay. If you listen this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. Like I said, next week, Eli, actually some big shit might go down. Spider-Man Far From Home trailer 2 comes out.
Oh, the trailer.
They're saying it's so big that they're renting out a theater. Like Sony's renting out a theater to show fans early.
Oh, so you can buy tickets for the trailer.
You got to buy tickets for the trailer. Yes, they're saying that's how big it is. So it's some big shit going down. Gabe, it's some big shit going down. I don't check rumor sites. Let me know what's going on.
Cowboy Bebop come out next week or something?
Cowboy Bebop comes out next week. Something else comes out. Cowboy Bebop comes out. Spider-Man trailer comes out. When's Resident Evil come out?
Oh yeah, Resident Evil.
I don't know. It's gonna
come out some. Will it come out soon?
I think so. I think Resident Evil comes out this week also. So,
all right.
Like I said, next week we got stuff to talk about. This week we had nothing to talk about. All we could do is just talk about was Shang Chi getting shitted on by a bus driver. But we made it work. We made it. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. Definitely check out other podcasts. We got this Geeks and Comics. We got Get Valiant. Hold on, let me see. Gotcha. Already comes out 24. Oh, so that's not this week.
Okay.
Yeah. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bully time, same bully channel.